All right, so today I'm going to do another still life. I'm going to do an 8 by 8 inch oil painting of an apple and some apple slices. All right, so this painting will be done from a photograph. A while back, I did a bunch of fruit still lifes where I would set the fruit out on a white tablecloth out in the sun. And then I took a bunch of pictures and experimented with different compositions. So I'm going to be working from a photograph today. Let's just get started. Okay, so I start by toning the panel. And I just use a wash of burnt sienna and I pretty much dry it off. I mean, I wipe it down quite a bit so that it's just slightly tinted orange. And then just start mapping out the big shapes as usual. No detail, just kind of getting the main elements in place, indicating where the shadows are, and then where the stem is on the apple. And now I come in with the shadow colors. And I'm not worrying about getting too accurate. There's a lot of color shifts or temperature shifts in the shadows, so just lay in the shadows. And then the green of the apple. There's going to be a lot of adjustment going on in the apple as well. Notice I'm putting in the shadow side of the apple slices was kind of difficult, trying to determine what color they were. And I kind of compared it to the light side of the apple slice and determined that it was almost like a blue-greenish tint. And so I went with that, and that seemed to work out. But it can be really difficult sometimes to determine what color a white is, because white is never just white. It's always leaning in one direction or the other. And yeah, these were leaning in the blue-green direction. So starting to put in a little bit of detail on those slices, just the apple seeds and then the little ends of the apples, whatever those are, like where the stem was, and kind of doing some adjusting in the colors. I mean, in the shadow colors. As far as painting the apple itself, I like to have visible brush strokes, but when you're painting a spherical object, it could be really difficult. Because I know some painters will paint it and it'll look very blocky. And I just kind of want it to still look like an apple, if you know what I mean, and have some of that round quality. All right, I just put in some of those details on the apple slices, just sort of those yellow lines. And it is just a balance of figuring out how much detail to put in. Coming in with the background, this has it's white with a very slight tint of dioxazine purple in it. I did a few things after the camera died. I lightened up the ends of the apples. They were really dark. I wanted to get some orange in there. Also kind of boosted the orange in the stem as well, kind of warmed that up and defined the shadow a little bit. You'll notice the shadow of the stem is darker at the base and then it gets lighter as it goes up. What else did I do? I kind of cleaned up some of the outside of the apple too. I want to leave it soft because I don't want a hard edge there, but I don't want it to be, I don't want it to be too messy. It's just kind of using your judgment. The same with the shadow as well. These edges, like I really like how irregular this edge is here, and this one too. So it's a matter of just kind of figuring out how loose you want to keep it. I kind of want the apple to look round and yet still have that loose edge going on. This right here, the highlight adds so much. When the painting is just, when you've just got the green in there, it can look like, it's like, wow, it just looks like a blob. But then you put a highlight on it, and of course the stem. Those are the only real details, and it just pulls it together. The same down here for these apples, there's not, or the slices, there's not a lot of detail, but it's amazing what just putting a few little lines in there to suggest the center of the apple, what that does. It's just very, or even like the seeds. And the key too, I think, with things like the seeds or these lines is to kind of make them irregular and not too tidy, if you know what I mean. And then when I come in on the back here, I've come in and put a lot of white paint and just put it on as thick as possible. There's probably a little bit of warmth showing through from the toned panel, and you could see little areas of orange popping through around the edges here and here from the toned panel there, right there as well. One of the most common comments I get regarding these paintings is, oh, it looks like Wayne Thiebaud. You may remember Wayne Thiebaud did like, would do dessert cases with cakes and donuts, lots of creamy paint going on. The idea actually for the white background came from an illustrator, Landecker, and I'm not sure his first name. I can't remember it right now, but he would do that. He would do a very sort of detailed drawing, and then the background would be these very strong, thick strokes of white paint. And I really liked the simplicity of that. It made the subject really stand out. So that's where I got the idea from. I actually did not, I like Wayne Thiebaud, but I wasn't thinking of Wayne Thiebaud when I did these. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this little demo. Let me know what you think down in the comments. It is the end of the month, so I always give a shout out to my Patreon supporters. They are the ones that keep these videos going, or keep me going to keep making these videos. So I really appreciate their support. If you're interested in pitching in, there's a Patreon link down below. All right, so thanks for hanging out, guys. Stay creative out there, and I will see you in the next video.